There are so many factors that make us what we are. And the number one factor that makes us what we are is what we consume. Let's bear that in mind. And what we consume determines how long we are going to live, how healthy we are going to be, and a lot of other parameters that determine what makes us who we are or what we contain or what we are. These factors cannot be overruled because according to Pastor Jerry Eze, he said, whatever you do, don't die. And that means if these lifestyle diseases are dangerous, we should try everything we can to make sure that we do not kick the bucket as a result of these lifestyle diseases earlier than when we should. But today we're going to zoom into one of these lifestyle diseases, and we're going to zoom into why is it important we address this lifestyle disease. Ladies and gentlemen, I remain my humble self, Lucky, aka Dr. Drugs, and tonight we're going to be talking about lifestyle modification for a healthier body. So, we can't talk about weight loss and detox without talking about a very, very important factor, which is obesity. Obesity is the whole main reason why people undergo weight loss and detox. So this is a table of content, very simple and humble, but and I believe there are a lot of things in here that we would enjoy. We'll be hearing about some things over and over again, but I try to add something extra today to this seminar. Now, talk about obesity. What is weight management? What is the importance of weight management? What are the factors of weight management? And what is body mass index? We hear body mass index all the time. Go to the hospital, they say, weigh yourself and climb the scale. Why? Why do we have to weigh ourselves and climb the scale? Detoxification. Why do we have to detoxify our bodies? The importance of detoxification will be highlighted, and then we'll talk about other factors like the Clean 9 program and all that. So obesity simply means excessive detrimental accumulation of body fat, period. That means body fat is a direct, in fact, it's directly proportional. The amount of body fat in the body is directly proportional to whether the person is, or to how obese the person is. Obese how the person is. This implies that our body weight is directly influenced by the amount of body fat in our system. It's not as if this body fat is not good. It has a function. But the problem is that when it is excessive, it can become detrimental. Fat is actually a way our body stores energy. That is why you see women have a coating of fat all over their bodies and an accumulation of fat at certain essential parts of their bodies, not because of owambe or to go and dance and wear clothes that fit them better. One of the reasons is to ensure that there's a constant supply of energy to the fetus of the womb, or the fetus in the womb of a mother. That means whether the woman is eating or not, the baby or the fetus has constant energy supply. What does that tell us? Fat is an energy store. The only problem is that when this energy store becomes too much, it begins to cause other issues that we're going to talk about shortly. So this is just a balance between weight management, managing our weight and damaging our weight. If you look at the screen closely, you will see that the left side is helping us to manage our weight, while the right side is helping us to what? Damage our weight. From basic principles, weight management is a function of calories consumed versus calories expended. So what this simply means is that if you want to maintain your weight, the calories you consume as food have to be equal to the calories expended. And if you want to increase your weight, because I have patients that want to increase their weight, then the calories consumed needs to exceed the calories expended. And if one wants to lose weight, which is where we're going to zoom in later, calories consumed have to be below the calories expended. Now, the calories consumed are from what? Food and drinks. You ask some people, why are you adding weight? They say, I don't know. It's in my blood. It's in my gene. Foul. Because you are what you consume. You cannot have weight from nowhere. It's passed through the mouth. Now, calories expended could also be as a result of basal metabolism. That is slow running. You know, when you leave your car running, you see, not as if it's consuming much fuel, but it needs some fuel to stay on. Maybe the madam stays in the car and the driver goes out to get something, she leaves the car, the AC chilling, you know, and that's called slow running. That's basal metabolic. the basal way, the slow running of the body that keeps the body alive. You need energy to keep yourself alive. But guess what? Some people use more energy to stay alive. That's why they can eat a whole elephant and they'll still be figure one. Whereas some other people have very slow or sluggish metabolism. So they need very little or no energy to stay alive. And when they eat anything, it begins to pile up in their body as food because energy becomes excess and stores in the body as food. And that's why you see people eat a lot and remain slim, while others eat little and are always getting fat. Physical exercise is one of the ways of expending energy. And now, some factors also determine or influence weight gain or loss, and those include dieting. I always have this very nice picture that shows what a Mediterranean diet is. Exercise, which helps us to burn off calories. Illnesses, as you can see, because sometimes, for example, there's a president that went to jail, he was very fat. By the time he came out, he was very slim, and became president again, and became fat again. So you can see that tells you that it is not in his gene, it's based on what he consumes. And if you see him these days doing exercise at more than 80, you will not believe it. Like a young man, because he has built himself in such a way that his BMI is becoming better as he gets older and he's getting healthier by the day, as time goes by. That's a typical example of what weight management can do for you. Now, exercise helps us to burn off calories, and illnesses or certain diseases can make us lose weight. There's something called cachexia, which is unexplained weight loss as a result of chronic or long-term disease conditions. A typical example is people that have cancer, or people that have type 2 diabetes. At a point in time, they begin to slim down, or people that have had a stroke, and that's because of lack of use of muscles. So the muscles begin to atrophy or disappear because of any part of the body that is not used begins to disappear or wither off, including the brain. When the brain is not used, it begins to wither off, and other issues like Alzheimer's and others begin to become more prominent. Then genetics also, because it's what they call genetic tendency. That does not mean genetic tendency is not genetic certainty. There are two different things altogether. One may have a fat father and a fat mother and be a macho man because the person has what? Tweaked his tendency towards what is good for him or her. Oh, this is what I like. I love this picture. All things bright are beautiful. Look at this picture. You would not see any alcohol, no Azul, no Seremi, no Moe, no Chandon, no St. Maurice, no Benson, no anything that is detrimental to bodies. This is just all things bright and beautiful. And you see that many of the things that are on this table have lower or lesser or better calories. Body mass index, people always ask, why? What does this mean? This is just a fair way to measure how obese someone is. The range is from 18.5 to 24.9. That means that if someone is less than 18.5, that person is underweight. Like some of these models you will watch on these magazines, you know definitely that if they stand beside the express road and a car passes too fast, the car may blow them away or into oblivion. But we see that we have some people that are heavyweight, and those ones, even if an aeroplane passes, the aeroplane may even be the one that will be blown away when they pass by these people. These are the heavyweights, and they are from 24.9 kilograms upwards. What we see, we still have another category where we have obesity 1, obesity 2, obesity 3, and then we have the category called the obesity to be continued. People, we don't even know how to measure their BMI anymore, and that's why it is important we watch our body mass index to be sure that we don't go beyond the point where factors like heart attack, stroke, fatty liver disease, and other lifestyle diseases, and other Ashebi lifestyle disease or Porakpo lifestyle disease begin to gather and begin to form problems for people. So this is how people graduate from before they enter university. They go to university, they get a boyfriend that has money, then they get married and start giving birth to children, and you can see how the body begins to get obese as the body mass index begins to increase from 18.5 here. You see this person is, this is 18.5 to 24.9, which is normal. The person in the middle is normal. You see this person is overweight, that's 25 to 29.9, and obese when the person is above 30, that's obesity 1. So the problem starts from the orange lady upwards. So the importance of weight management cannot be overemphasized, but we're going to look at it from what it causes when it is not prevented. So you can see it can cause type 2 diabetes when one doesn't manage their weight properly. The reason being that the fat cells lead to production of what are called adipokines or adipocytokines. These directly affect the DNA and make type 2 diabetes or insulin resistance to manifest. And then we have hormonal imbalance. A typical example is a male hormone called androstenedione that is converted to estrone by fat and affects the part of the brain, especially the part of the brain, the anterior pituitary gland, that controls female reproductive function. And that's why people that are obese have a higher tendency of being infertile. Then we have infertility. We've already explained part of it, but you know that endometriosis, which is the growing of the inner part of the womb all around the place, it can grow in the fallopian tube, it can grow on the ovaries, it can grow on the things that they call the adnexia, the hanger of the womb in the stomach, and a lot of other things like that. And this can lead to what? Infertility. Imagine it growing in the fallopian tube, then they say there's fallopian tube blockage. Then you can see polycystic ovarian syndrome, the one that is as a result of premature maturation of eggs and leading to excessive production of male sex hormones in women. And then you see the women begin to have beards. While their husbands are shaving, they'll be asking, honey, can you find my shaving stick? These are the polycystic ovarian syndrome women. And you can see that overweight can actually lead to these kind of issues or predispose people to these kind of issues. And these two factors I just mentioned cause infertility. Apart from the one I mentioned before, hypertension is easy to explain because you are overweight. Your heart has a wider area to supply blood. That means it needs a higher pressure. And that is simple explanation. Higher pressure, hyperpressure, hypertension. And that is the way the person gets admission into the school of hypertension and begins to head towards final year. Now, stroke comes as a result of hypertension, but bear in mind that being overweight also predisposes one to high blood cholesterol, and we know that cholesterol can actually block the blood vessels that supply different parts of the body, including what? The brain. And that can lead to what? Stroke or cerebrovascular accident. A similar thing happens when it happens in the heart, but this time it's called a myocardial infarction or a heart attack. That's why the other one is called a brain attack, and this is called a heart attack. And what is attacking? Cholesterol, which is what, as a result of being overweight, is a risk factor. In fact, they work hand in hand. When one is overweight, one has a higher tendency of having high blood cholesterol. Then cancer. You see, the cells of cancer cells need cholesterol because there are cholesterol analogs all around the cell membrane. So supplying this cancer cell excess cholesterol, you're only telling them, go here, multiply too much, enjoy yourselves, because they will use that cholesterol and produce more cell membranes and begin to make the multiplication of cells go faster. Remember that cancer is simply uncontrolled, detrimental multiplication of cells. And that's just a simple layman definition of cancer. So that's why you see that when people are having cancer, they are giving a lot of antioxidants in stage 1, and if they are lucky, the cancer gets what's reversed, because that leads to DNA stability, which is in charge of replication. Low immunity, fatty liver disease, as aforementioned, osteoarthritis, which is a mechanical condition. Because of the excess weight that the person has exerted on the knees or the joints or the spine, you find out that the load-bearing joints of the body begin to suffer. A typical example is lumbar or sacral or lumbosacral spondylosis. Being overweight is the #1 cause of lumbar spondylosis because it will lead to degenerative disc disease. Degenerative disc disease has its cousin, which is lumbar disc herniation, and the herniated part of the padding presses on the sciatic nerve, and the person is having sciatica. That will lead to what? Numbness, tingling sensation, weakness, especially on one part of the leg. And before you know it, they tell the person you have to go for decompression surgery. They say, oh, it's a 50-50 surgery. You may be paralyzed, though. It's 50% chance you are not paralyzed, sir. This is the form sign, and the person is between the devil and the deep blue sea. But you can see that this can be prevented when one manages one's weight. Breathing disorders and increased internal stress and free radicals that damage DNA. These all and more can lead as a result of poor weight management. Now, I want us to talk about detoxification. because we'll be hearing weight detox, detox, detox. Everybody's talking about detox, but let's know what detox is from a very simple perspective. The medicinal or physiological process of removing what? Of removal of harmful substances, aka toxins, from the human body, especially by, take note of this, the liver and the kidneys. The presence of unwanted materials lead to oxidative stress that lead to production of reactive oxidative species that damage what? DNA, and may lead to a myriad of unwanted health conditions. And these include a few of the ones we just talked about. So now that we talked about detoxification. So what are we detoxifying? Detoxifying ourselves of what? Toxins. And toxins, from simple definition, are organic poisons that occur naturally, produced by metabolic activities, which mean natural processes of living cells or organisms. A typical example is when somebody eats old geisha or sardine. When one opens the tin and hear that sound, please do not eat it, because something has been growing there and has produced toxins. People can get poisoned with something like botulinum and a lot of other factors that we don't want to talk about now. And these toxic substances can be what? Oil or where? Fat soluble. Now you can see we are getting somewhere. So you can see that even the fat that was accumulated, that was even detrimental already as a result of maybe causing osteoarthritis and the rest, can actually be a landlord for what? Toxins. And a lot of dangerous toxins are what? Oil soluble. So oil soluble toxins often hide in fat cells, hence fat, aka obesity, serves as a reservoir of these toxins. And these toxins often cause weight gain. Hence, losing weight without detoxifying the system leads to weight gain often, because the toxins will have to redilute themselves, and the person, that is the origin of people going around in circles. They reduce weight today, they gain it back tomorrow. That's just one of the ways it happens, because these toxins will be re-dissolved by more what? Fat, after the person has done malnourishment, thinking that he or she has done weight management. So what are the dangers of toxins? See, fat cells and adipose tissue often harbor toxins that help in the production of substances that may be harmful to the body. I got this example of androstenedione being converted to estrone and can obstruct the female reproductive system. That is why when a lot of women are searching for the fruit of the womb and they undergo original or professional weight management and detox programs, next thing you hear is what God cannot do does not exist. Because the toxins that were hindering the normal processes that lead to fertility or promote fertility in women that affect fertility in those toxins that affect fertility in the women have been withdrawn. Those factors that affect fertility in the women, for example, androstenedione that is converted to estrone and all this as a result of fat cells. When the fat cells are not there, every other factor begins to go smoothly without issues. But it's worthy of note that fasting appropriately helps detoxify the liver via a process called autophagy. In this process, the liver converts harmful substances, e.g., excess liver fat, scar tissue. In fact, you know some people that are having scar tissue, the one that leads to liver cirrhosis. When they begin to undergo this autophagy, they find out that their liver goes back to normal because the liver is its own doctor. One of these days, we'll talk about the liver extensively, and you see how wonderful this organ is. Now, drinking enough water helps to detoxify the system, especially through the kidneys. Take note of this. Because some people are doing weight loss and weight management program and detoxifying. You're detoxifying your system. It's just like having a dustbin inside your house. So as you are cleaning your house and packing it inside the dustbin that is inside your house, how far have you cleaned the house? So this is an example of how toxins are stored in the belly or the fats of the, you see, this is an example, fat that is accumulated in the tummy. Now look here, you see that this is the liver here. When the liver becomes overwhelmed, it begins to deposit fat all around, anywhere around it, including on itself. The liver will use the fat to tie gele, do so ashebi, or some people are unfortunate, it does 1,500 agbada, covers itself and begins to suffocate his own self because it's the one that produces cholesterol. And cholesterol, whether you like it or not, is 10 and 10 pence with fat. When you're talking about cholesterol and fat, they are blood brothers. So when they say, once you just say somebody say cholesterol, whatever can happen to cholesterol can happen to fat, whatever can happen to fat can happen to cholesterol. And you can see how it's deposited in this person's stomach, and people will say, wow, this man is very rich. Oh, this man this is evidence of good living. But this is actually evidence of untimely death that is loading for this person. Because this tummy that is big like this is visceral fat that is detrimental to that person, suffocating the internal organs in the abdomen. Apart from that, in fact, these organs, if they have somewhere to go to, they will just pack out and go and pay rent elsewhere because they are being suffocated by these fats. And they are storing a lot of toxins that are causing problems in the body as well. Now we've described the problem in so many words. Let's go down to solution. Even though we'll still dissect the solution further a little more. Now, this Clean 9 program is a 9 days detoxification. Remember, we talked about toxins, and we talked about detoxification. And weight management program, remember, we've talked about the difference between weight management and malnutrition, designed to reduce caloric intake and increase caloric expenditure. Remember that we talked about weight loss being when the excess calories are burnt off and more calories are burnt off and less calories are being consumed and stored as fat in the body. Via the use of a low caloric diet plan, exercise that burns off more fats, more energy, and aka fats, because that's where the energy is stored, as well as the autophagy we just discussed now, which is simply therapeutic fasting, and the use of what? Natural pharmaceuticals. This last one, I'm going to dissect it a little more so that we'll be able to understand, while ensuring what? Adequate nourishment. And that is why professional fasting is different from malnourishment. For those people that are drinking agbo, they say they went to the toilet and slept there, and they came out and said, I have lost weight. My brother and sisters in the Lord, you just emptied your bowel and you lost a lot of electrolytes. You're lucky you didn't go into shock. You should go and give thanksgiving, and then when you eat again, the place where those things that came out when you were in the White House were staying before will be reaccommodated by what you just ate. Go and check your weight again. You have gone back to where you were before. And that is one of the disadvantages of what? Malnourishment. So it systematically includes intermittent appropriate fasting that helps to what? Detoxify the liver. You see that we are always talking about the liver because the liver plays a large role in weight management and detoxification. So these are a few of the components that are in this product. We can't talk about this for too long, but just remember that it helps to stabilize DNA and detoxify the liver and the whole body. That's what aloe vera gel does, and its functions are numerously numerous. We'll talk about this some other time. You can see ultralight helps with what? Nourishment. That means you are just extracting the fat without starving the cells. You see that some people, when they finish doing their own malnourishment program and say that they have gone to do weight loss program, you see that they are looking like people that just came out of prison, or they're just coming out of war or a war-torn zone. You understand? But that is not how it's supposed to be. You're supposed to actually enjoy the process. You're supposed to feel good when because the cells are happy. In fact, these fat cells are like unwanted roommates with these cells. They come as a visitor. Before you know it, they pack their load in. Before you know it, they are living with you. Before you know, when they wake up in the morning, they are brushing teeth beside you in the bathroom. To go again will not be a problem. So you see that this Clean 9 comes and removes the unwanted or the illegal tenants and leaves the cells to live in their normal environment the way it's supposed to be, and they are happier. And that's why people that do this program look fresher after they do it, because their cells are not shriveled as due to malnourishment. Then we have fiber. Of course, we know what fiber does to the gut, and we know that fiber will help to boost immunity, because of the gut-brain relationship. That is a strong link between the gut and immune system relationship. There's a strong link between the gut and immune system. Oh, in fact, there's actually a gut-brain relationship. We'll talk about that shortly. And then it will also help to reduce hunger cravings, because the stomach could be told, guy, you're okay now, you're already full, calm down, and the stomach will be, oh, I forgot I even ate something, and to relax. But meanwhile, the fat is being burnt off in the system. Now, who burns this fat off faster than TEM? TEM is thermogenesis. That means in Latin, it just means burning of fat, in short. That's what it means. So rather than you use food to make energy, your body will now go back and start using the fat that was stored to make energy, further helping you to lose weight and also keep you energetic. I know a lot of people that start clean-9 and they tell me that they are not tired. They are not tired because the fats that you have been storing since 1960, some of the fat cells at the same age with Nigeria are still there and they are doing nothing. Now this time will go there and convert them to what? Energy. And that is why it is very important, because you have two things to gain. One, you are losing weight. Two, you're having energy. So you're not tired. And when your cells are not needing energy, they don't tell the brain that they are what? Hungry. In the process to begin to continue to go smoothly. Garcinia Plus is an awesome product because it contains what's called hydroxystric acid. Do you know that someone got a Nobel Prize for discovering hydroxystric acid? Go and Google it, and you will see that this is a wonderful molecule. In fact, you know that it prevents carbohydrates from being converted into fat. And of course, you know the staple food of Nigeria. Every Sunday, everybody cooking rice. You don't need to go and ask somebody on Sunday, what did you cook in your house today? Just bring out, just say to them, madam, please put rice for me. Add plenty stew. Don't ask them whether there is rice in Nigeria. Everybody cooks rice on Sunday. Most people cook rice on Sunday. In fact, if you go to your house, they don't cook rice on Sunday, you see what happens. Now you can see that this rice, yam, fufu, amala, and all these things that we eat, spaghetti, indomie, you know, and all these things lead to production of what? Fat in the system. Because you know a lot of people are workaholics, the economy is coming harder, everybody's working harder, no time to cook. As a person, just go to Aboki making meshai. Aboki, I bet do 10 indomie for me with 200 egg. Because that's the fastest they can eat before they can sleep and go back to work again. Unfortunately, they're accumulating fats that can be detrimental to their bodies. But these products here will even help to prevent more production of fat from carbohydrates during the program. Of course, it's a measuring tape for evidence, and then there's a book guide to guide us. So now, let's just quickly talk about a few things here. What are the 10 reasons? Just give us top 10 reasons why we need clean-9. Of course, we've talked about the detoxifies naturally and nourish the cells at the same time. We just talked about that. It boosts immunity and set the foundation for sustainable weight loss, weight gain, and a lot of other things, weight management and skin glow at the same time. It improves, of course, anyone that, when even the cells are happy, why won't your mood of the whole human being be happy? The mood of the whole human being be happy. This is a part that is very, very important because people don't even know that being overweight affects our entanglement factor. Because one, it can even bury the entanglement facility. And the owner of the entanglement arena will not be enjoying entanglement. So you can see that weight loss can actually help to even reduce or increase the length of the entanglement facility and help entanglement to be more enjoyable in the other room. And you can see that it resets metabolism and boosts energy, rejuvenates from inside out. A lot of people rub pancake, they rub eye pencil, Mary-Kay, this, that, at the end of the day, but inside them, they are rotting. If you see my phone, sometimes you pity human beings. When I'm going through all these things on the internet, sometimes you see very pretty people, but when they now land when you meet them in the hospital, and you will know, in the patient confidentiality, nobody can tell you. But unfortunately, it's so rampant now. People cover themselves. I don't know whether it's this social media thing, but inside them, they're dying. They're actually getting rotten inside because of the excess consumption of things that lead to production of toxins. That's why detoxification is very, very important. In fact, there was a video I was supposed to play here where you see what people are doing to our food. You understand what I'm saying better. So you become more beautiful. We prove this. Then guess what? We even have a structure where people can come in and join and help professionals, including myself and there are some other top health professionals that are going to guide us 24/7 as we're undergoing this program. This program is wonderful. I think we're going to even start another one on Monday. So if you know anybody that invited you here, ask the person how to get your own package so that you can join the program and detoxify yourself. Because sometimes I'm sorry to say this, maybe we'll have to delete this thing I want to say. I've come to realize that Africans are experts in burial, party, politics, but we are often very skeptic towards maintaining ourselves and taking care of our health. Many of us, not all, but I've noticed it, that if you see somebody is dying, even 5K, nobody will can give that person. But if that person is gone, You see the person spraying bundle of money at the wedding of the person that did not give 1 naira to when the person was alive. We should pay more attention to prevention, which is better than what? Cure. That's why it's very important that we detoxify ourselves and prevent lifestyle diseases that can make people to what? Kick the bucket. Now, so there are many other things. Just bear in mind that this is a scientifically designed package, and it is very useful. Now, let's talk about C9 versus obesity. You see, considering the 3 major ways fat is accumulated in the body, which are direct consumption or ingestion, poor elimination of fats, people that have low metabolic rate, menopause, women, because women have lower metabolic rate, so they have the higher tendency to become fat, and of course, intracellular production that happens more at night. That's why you are warned not to eat after 6 p.m. when people are trying to have programs that will reduce their weight and help them reverse lifestyle diseases like type 2 diabetes. They often warn not to eat after 6 p.m. because cholesterol is produced more at night. In fact, when one is using that one of these 3-hydroxy-3-methylglutaric coenzyme A reductase inhibitors, the one they call statins, you see that the person will be told to take it at night. You understand? Because that's when the action is needed more. So bear that in mind. So when you hear people say don't eat after 6 p.m., it's not torture. It's because cholesterol is produced more at night. Now, C9 program tackles these issues by ensuring a low-caloric diet, and hydroxycitric acid in Garcinia Plus hinders excess absorption of what? Carbohydrate from our diet. We've explained this before, which will ultimately prevent the excess production of body fat. Programmed exercises that will ensure that excess energy is not stored as fat in the system, but is burnt off. And this beautiful product term, which is what causes thermogenesis, which is the conversion of fat to energy, leading to double gain as we gain energy and lose weight at the same time. Is that not wonderful? Then the translocation of cholesterol, they increase high density lipoprotein or good cholesterol to the liver for processing from the blood, vessels, and organs in the body and the heart. You see what I told you about the liver being very important. The liver is still the same person that will process cholesterol, aka fat. And that's why when it becomes overwhelmed, it will wear tie ashebi, tie gele, tie wrapper, do 1,500 with fat and suffocate itself with fat. The person has what? Fatty liver disease. And you know that alcohol increases bad cholesterol directly, further suffocating the liver, blocking the blood supply to the. In fact, at a time, the hepatic portal vein, which is the vein that supplies liver from the mesenteric system, begins to get so blocked that the fluid inside begins to seep into the tummy directly. Instead of going to the liver, it starts going into the tummy, and the person begins to have what? Ascites. And they say this man has evidence of good living. He's having pot belly, not knowing that he's having a certificate of what? Lifestyle disease. Aloe vera gel is C9 is packed with antioxidants that directly help to rid the liver and other body organs of reactive oxidative species, as aforementioned. Bear in mind that as the liver is detoxified and being the major organ for the detoxification in the body, it detoxifies the system even more efficiently. So what are the gains? Very simple. You can see this boyfriend and girlfriend are so happy with themselves. So it's simply the prevention and reversal of all negative effects and dangers of obesity. Now, this is one thing that a lot of women always complain about. So women lose weight every year and gain weight every year. In fact, this cycle is as old as when they became adults. But this is now rebound weight gain this is simply the resistance of the body to weight loss. And it postulates that there is a connection between the gut and the brain. Hence, while the gut is saying it's full, the brain is saying that it's still hungry. Remember what we mentioned about fiber. And that's why some people, when they're undergoing this program, somebody will be at Ring Road and will be smelling suya that is at Oluku. I don't understand. Because the body wants to go back to what it was before and begins to fight the person. And that is why it's very essential that we would prevent rebound weight gain. So as I was saying, this means that the brain knows your weight and will fight you to make sure that you go back to what you were before, unless you tame it and say, stay where you are, I don't want lifestyle diseases. And that's why Clean 9 program is awesome. So locking in your new weight. Now, thanks to hydroxycitric acid found in Garcinia Plus, and the absorption of excess food is hindered by the gut via this hydroxycitric acid. These and other metabolic functions of C9, like thermogenesis, translocation of cholesterol, etc., will help us to lock in our new weight. Now, remember, you are what you consume, and there is a constant battle between factors that repair and protect our bodies and those that break it down. So we have to be on the winning side. Just like saying there's a constant battle between people that sell Indomie and people that make us to do exercise, or people that sell cigarettes and sell alcohol and all those things, and people that sell cucumber and carrot and cabbage. We have to be where on the winning side. So choose your choice. So thank you very much for coming, and God bless.